as part of its role in countering the Boko Haram insurgency under the Operation Lafia Dole. The Nigerian Air Force operations includes both the ground and air components. It has not only been involved in counterinsurgency, it also conducted evacuation of troops, including those wounded in action, personnel, and provision of critical logistics. Here at this event in Lagos, the crux of the African Partnership flight being co-hosted by the United States Air Force and the Nigerian Air Force is to give all nations involved the opportunity to share lessons learned through the exchange of ideas, techniques and practices to improve each Air Force's capability in aeromedical evacuation.
The whole essence of this program we are putting together is to identify where there are gaps in what we have on ground. We already have our plan. Should there be any problem, how do we intend to really react? And to see how we can build capacity in the next 5 days. See what is it that we need to really learn from those other countries and what is it that they need to learn from us.
This is an opportunity for us here with this African Partnership flight to be in Nigeria, but to bring in also representatives, airmen from other countries around the region. And it gives us an opportunity to strengthen the relationship between all of our air forces. It gives us an opportunity to work towards interoperability and to increase capability and capacity throughout the region.
The Lagos State government is also involved in this collaboration.
The Lagos State government pays attention to all these issues. They also bother on security. I mean, for us to have peace, we need to pay attention to things ordinarily people would not want to think about. Activities of entirely displaced persons, ensuring that they are reintegrated back to society. They live in a good environment. We provide medical services, and programs like this will go a long way to help.
When the 5-day meeting is over, partner nation airmen are expected to have acquired skills that can be shared in the theater of war to ensure that casualties are evacuated faster and live beyond their wounds.
They are not spirits. So when you give us information...
The National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers has commended the federal government's efforts to ensure that Nigerian pilots and engineers are gainfully employed by reviewing the expatriate quota.
It's at such a point...
The president of the body, Abednego Galadima, says it will ensure that the NCAA implements the new guidelines accordingly.
We are happy that the new expatriate quota regime is the one that will favor local pilots and engineers, Nigerian pilots and aircraft engineers, such that abuses that were hitherto associated with the expatriate quota regime will be checked. We believe NAPE as an interested party will ensure that NCA enforces compliance with the new regime so that Nigerians are not shortchanged and Nigerian jobs goes to Nigerians.
The Spanish government says the country's civil guard will handle security controls at Barcelona's airport from Monday to limit disruptions from a planned strike by security staff. The deployment seeks to avert delays and long queues at Barcelona's El Prat airport for holidaymakers arriving in record numbers to Spain this year. Barcelona El Prat, the second busiest airport in Spain after Madrid's Barajas, is a major hub for international airlines and a destination for tourists visiting Spain's northeastern Mediterranean coast. Employees of airport security company EOLEN have held a series of short stoppages since early August to demand better working conditions and more staff. They plan an indefinite strike from Monday if no deal is reached.
Most of us have flown at one point in our lives, but the magic never seems to wear off. It seems like everyone is always awestruck by the power of flight, and for good reason. We love how engineering has manufactured this awesome power to shoot through the air in a huge chunk of metal. Pilots are notoriously secretive about many things, and we don't blame them. There's a lot of panic surrounding flying for many people, and it isn't surprising they want to keep everyone as calm as possible. There are some secrets and tricks of the trade that pilots don't want you to know. Have you ever had a flight diverted to a different airport because of bad weather or lack of fuel? Most people who have flown have. Many have experienced the frustration of being stranded in an airport. But why do passengers get stranded, especially if the plane is still operational? Well, sometimes it is because of a lack of staff. If the pilots and flight attendants have reached their limit of hours per day, the plane is stuck. They can't get overtime for diverted planes, and the airline would rather pay to put people in a hotel room overnight than allow overtired and overworked employees up in the air. Almost everyone loves the mood lighting and cozy atmosphere that evening plane rides have. Riding through the sunset and evening stars lets us know that we are in for a great relaxing night. When the light gets darker, it's actually a safety precaution. In case the plane starts to fail or crash and it is dark outside, the plane is to get people's eyes already adjusted. The lights going low is the pilot's efforts to ensure people can see in the dark in case anything goes wrong. But remember, these huge metal birds are strong and resilient. Many airlines do not allow phone usage on planes. It has been proven that it will not actually bring down the whole electronic system. So why do pilots perpetrate this myth? Well, there are still safety concerns. Pilots do report that too many signals can muddy up their communication systems. When you are on a plane with 50 people, that's a lot of signaling sending. There's also the preventive measure in the case of a crash or sudden intense turbulence. Small handheld devices can pick a punch, especially if they go flying. There isn't just one pilot up there guiding the plane, there are two. While the co-pilot might sound like they have less to do, it's actually the opposite. Pilots and co-pilots have almost equal responsibilities, switching off controls periodically, especially on long flights. Rather than one being better than the other, they're probably in the most equal standing. This is further safely protected by the food poisoning preventive measure of pilots being disallowed to share food. Yes, pilots and co-pilots can share their lunches or dinners. The hope is that this will ensure one of them will be in tip-top shape, even if the other has food poisoning halfway through a flight to Russia. But hey, whatever helps, get us to where we need to go.
And that's our curtain call on the show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.